Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 3 in this Best of 3 series. For some reason, I am under the observation of StarSighted. Let's go ahead and change it to one of the observers, as we see StarSighted has spawned as the teal Night Elf player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top right-hand side of the map, we have Sniq spawning as the purple undead. Undead versus Night Elf, game number 3 in a Best of 3. The final match, winner take all, as we saw some very differing strategies between game number 1 and game number 2. Game number 1, StarSighted, looked like he was banking on a rather unorthodox strategy that paid off extremely well. Going for Tree of Life before an Ancient of War, going Keeper of the Grove, and going for Huntresses with a Priestess of the Moon. Yeah, I know it sounds like some crazy strategy out of Reign of Chaos, but it was a very effective strategy. Now, game number 2, we saw Sniq just open up with some standard gargoyle harassment, similar to Mad Frog, just going very heavy with those gargoyles, knowing that they can deal a lot of damage to both the dryads and also cause a little bit of harassment to those archers, adding in a frostworm to counter the bear, and that was absolutely perfect. And he did this all without a single obsidian statue or a meat wagon, which is something that I don't rarely see. Most of the time, players are going to be going for that slaughterhouse, just trying to get at least a little bit of healing or a little bit of extra mana. StarSighted now falling back on his original strategy, which was going for the Keeper of the Grove. And this Keeper of the Grove is going to be hunting down this Acolyte rather quickly. And this Acolyte just wants to see what hero it's going to be and then realize, wait, I am pretty much dead. There is the Entangle right there. A little bit of damage as the crow flies of the attack of that Keeper of the Grove. There it goes, it gets taken out, as we are looking at a second Ancient of War already being trained off to the north. This is still a little bit of a strange strategy. I haven't seen dual Ancients of War without Ancient of War creeping, as the Death Knight now... Oh, the Death Knight actually getting in the way of the Keeper of the Grove, and this is actually buying a lot of time, which is extremely important. The Keeper of the Grove, rather fast, can just prance his way up inside the base and is going to try and entangle the one of these Acolytes. However, he's going to be meted and greeted by a sea of ghouls. But more importantly, though, StarSighted knows that as long as he is pressuring Sniq's base, Sniq cannot actually start any mining. Once this Nerubian tower is up, though, this Keeper of the Grove will not be able to harass any longer, and it looks like he's just deciding to head back home and lick his wounds. Alright, the Keeper of the Grove still wandering around, though. Is he going to perhaps run into run inside the base once more and try to do the same maneuver? There's some ghouls, and the Keeper of the Grove, oh my goodness! Wow. Wow. That is the perfect... I don't know how often I've actually seen that move executed as well as we saw there, but that was an absolute clutch move, and I can't believe that was just an amazing play, as the Keeper of the Grove is forced to burn a Scroll of Town portal. And now, the Death Knight can come in for all the harassment. Archer quickly gets a little bit of Moonwell there, and it looks like a Troll Trapper going to get taken down. There is an Entangle onto the Death Knight. The Death Knight does not entangle for a very long time, though, as the Archer does Shadow Meld. Alright, surprisingly, the Death Knight did not pick up... What is this? Second Crypt. Okay, it looks like he's going for Gargoyles again. So... But we also see a whole bunch of archers out here, and now we are going into an Ancient of Wonders. Would be really strange to perhaps see Orb of Venom picked up onto that Keeper of the Grove, or we may even see a Priestess of the Moon for True Shot or on all of these archers, which would make short work of any sort of gargoyle harassment. Are we going to be seeing those gargoyles? Yes, we are. One gargoyle, two gargoyles being trained at a time. It looks like StarSighted is much more ready this time around, though. And The Keeper of the Grove also picking up a Claws of Attack +6, always going to help. Let's see what's going to be happening next. Is he also going for the quick upgrades? I don't believe so. No upgrades from that graveyard just quite yet, as the Ancient of Wonders is actually taking a bit of damage by this Death Knight and this Skeletal Minion. Regardless, though, Star-Shaped, if he just cancels this Ancient of Wonders, is he going to cancel it? Yep, he's going to cancel. There's the detonation as the army of archers, and oh, a gargoyle gonna make it taken down there really quickly, and oh my gosh, wow, random number generator down to 2 hit points, and it doesn't fall. That was a huge save there, as Star-Shaped unable to finish off one of those gargoyles. Those gargoyles are extremely expensive at this point in the game, and they are only better in mass numbers. All right, this Keeper of the Grove is here. Dark Ranger now being picked up, and the Dark Ranger now picking up skeletal minions. Oh, the Keeper of the Grove is going to pick up level 2, and there's a Breath of Fire. All right, so both of the heroes picking up a Tavern hero as their sidekick, so to speak, as the archers, and now the skeletal minions are now trying to make a bit of a move. All right, there you go. There is an entangle onto the Panda. The Panda in a little bit of trouble here. Skeletal minions almost get a surround onto the Panda, and the Panda now down to 67 hit points. That Dark Ranger smells blood, and it is an endangered species, and it goes down. Panda falls at level 1 with a Keeper of the Grove, and I'm not quite sure why he went for Breath of Fire. Yes, the archers are relatively low on hit points, but they do have some natural resistance as well to magic attacks. Coming on next, we can see the Ogre Warriors here and the Ogre Magi going to be falling. Let's see, Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 3, Dark Ranger already sitting at level 2. Needs to be very careful about how she uses her mana, but also picks up a potion of invulnerability. Starshape looking very strong now. Meanwhile, the Death Knight sitting at level 2, Panda resurrecting at level 1, and we are going into a Slaughterhouse, the much more traditional build that I was expecting earlier. All right, let's take a look back over here. How is Panda ever better than a Lich? Tome of Intelligence +2, extra +2 damage, as the gargoyles are now going to be coming in for a bit of hide and go seek, but you can't go into the gold mine. Wisp now making their way over. Only advantage is Tavern timing. If you have Panda plus Lich, it's amazing. I guess Frost Nova and Breath of Fire, very effective, since you can slow down the units as they do tend to clump up. Meanwhile, the Panda and the Death Knight now just creeping off over here. It looks like both of those heroes will not be leveling up, as the Keeper of the Grove really has nowhere to go. Now, we do have a Hippogriff in the air now, and the Hippogriff is more for spotting than for anything else. The reason behind that is that the Gargoyles are actually very strong anti-air units, able to take down those units pretty quickly. All right. Death Knight now coming back around. You can see the Keeper of the Grove is right here. It looks as though one gargoyle is going to be ensnared, and is it going to make it out? No, it does not. Keeper of the Grove still sitting at level 3. The Dark Ranger sitting at level 2. One Hippogriff in the air. Melee attack speed is fast. I wonder what the attack speed on a gargoyle is as well. Fast. No real way to know which one's faster besides going to the website. But I do believe that the Gargoyles will win pretty much any engagement there. Wand of Illusion, which could be very helpful if you stack it up all on those Hippogriffs, forcing the Gargoyle to try and focus down and deal damage to units that are not really there. Force of Nature now bringing out here as well the Ents, or the Trents, excuse me. Gonna go ahead and take down the Ogre Magi. We have another Claws of Attack, which is something that I'm surprised isn't being stacked up on the Dark Ranger. I believe the Dark Ranger has a slightly faster attack speed, or it is the same right now, but the Dark Ranger also benefits more because of those black arrows doing that corruption and then getting some skeletal minions into play. So far, it looks as though things are pretty even. The Gargoyles are not upgraded at all, still sitting at 0-0, so this could be a significant difference than what we saw in game number 1. Black Citadel now being added. Let's go ahead and head off to the north here. Keeper of the Grove is keeping track of the army, or at least an illusion of him is, as he pretty much sees everything that is going on right now. Death Knight on the other side, pretty much doing the same exact thing, as we are now looking at the archers doing a run inside the base here. All right, are the Hippogriffs going to do anything? Oh, there's an ensnare onto a Hippogriff, as all the units are now running back. It looks as though these troll trappers could be following the Dark Ranger. What is it doing? Venturing forth way too far, and this is actually a little bit of a bad play by StarSighted. StarSighted not controlling his units, losing a handful, or taking a lot of damage that he didn't need to, and now being forced to back off as the troll trappers and the troll high priest getting in some very, very easy damage on these units. All right, what is this? Oh my gosh, this Tree of Life is absorbing way too much damage. That is actually an absolute nightmare. And if StarSighted loses this Tree of Life, this is going to be the absolute end all. All right, there it goes. There goes that Tree of Life. A free 385 gold, if I remember correctly. And all it needed to really do was just take a different route to try and establish a base. All right, let's take a look at this. The illusion down over here. You're gonna try and figure out where that Tree of Life is, but he could see the remnants of that Tree of Life. Are we perhaps gonna see an Ancient Protector now? Meanwhile, back over here, Keeper of the Grove and Dark Ranger. Keeper of the Grove getting very, very wow, plus 18 attack. That is an absolute crazy play. And we now are looking at the Keeper of the Grove. 18 plus 18 attack there, as we are now going to a bit of an engagement. Here we are in the center. The hippogriffs are chasing after those gargoyles. There is Webb being forcing those hippogriffs now down onto the ground. Both sides are fighting out. Keeper of the Grove deciding to back off, as Sniq is probably going to come out of this fight smelling like a rose. Let's take a look at this, though. The Crypt Fiend, survives with 12 hit points and stays alive. Beautiful, beautiful play once again. One more arrow would have been enough, as we are now going into fairy dragons. Not exactly sure about that, but the Keeper of the Grove could have picked up an Orb of Venom. The Orb of Venom would probably finish off or deal a lot of additional damage across the board. Not quite sure why the Keeper of the Grove isn't deciding to pick one up. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go here. StarSighted now backing off. After taking game 1, he looks like he is in trouble here in game 2. Dark Ranger now making its way over, getting in some easy shots, and the Ancient of Wonders, does not fall, as both sides are now just giving a little bit of a chase. All right, let's take a look at this. The gargoyles, what's happening here? The units are now backing off, and the gargoyles were able to chase back. StarSighted says GG, and a really anticlimactic ending to a really well-played game. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3. Sniq taking game 2 and game number 3.